Welcome to my MLB Picks. I'm Professor MJ from Quebec City in Canada, and today I've got 11 baseball predictions for you. Alright, so in recent days we have not had a lot of success. The last time I talked to you was Wednesday. I took a day off yesterday from making MLB Picks, and on Wednesday we did very poorly with a 2-5-1 record. And as you can see on your screen, a $100 bettor would have lost $391. That's awful. The day before, we lost $80 after posting a 6-6 record, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And on Monday, we had more success. We posted a 6-2 record that generated a win of $319. So hopefully we are going to do better with the free picks today. Thank God. I feel a bit bad about this, but the free picks have fared badly, whereas the premium picks have been on fire at mjpicks.com. And hopefully both will do well. Now, if you take a look at the premium picks for this week across all sports, we've posted an 18-9 record that has produced a 7.21 unit profit. You can see all of the picks on your screen right now. So again, those high confidence plays are shared at mjpicks.com. Now, are you ready for some picks for today? Let's start with pick number 1 that fits under a betting system called the Hot Bats. Its rules are quite simple. Fade the home team if they either won their past 2 games by scoring 6+ runs in each of those wins, or if they won 4 games in a row by putting at least 5 runs on the board in each case. Now, in the Phillies versus Cubs game, if you take a look at Chicago, they won their past 2 contests against the Dodgers in both cases. In their most recent win, they hammered 7 runs, and in the prior one, they crossed home plate on 11 occasions. So they do fit under this system. They're at home. They have won their last 2 games by scoring at least 6 runs in each case. So by following the rules, we must fade them. And that's why pick number 1 goes to their opponents, the Philadelphia Phillies, to win straight up. The best current odds are plus 120, as you can see with DraftKings Sportsbook, which is the same as 2.20 in decimal. However, this betting strategy, as most of you know, I have developed 19 MLB betting systems several years ago. And since then, I've been tracking their performance in recent seasons, and I have rated them from 1 to 5 stars out of 5. Now, this one has not done very well, so it is graded 2 stars out of 5, so you need to tread carefully. But still, in this case, I like Philly in this spot for a few reasons. Alright, first, I expect a letdown game for the Cubs after 2 emotional and tight victories against the Dodgers. Meanwhile, the Phillies have dropped 4 in a row, so they will be very motivated to get back in the win column. And we all know that they have a lot of talent. I have to admit that I am worried about the pitching duo. Despite good 2025 numbers, I find it hard to trust Taijuan Walker. He was really awful last year, and in his last outing this year, he left the game with a shoulder stiffness. So is he really healthy? Is he 100%? It's hard to tell right now, but still I find the positive odds to be quite enticing. And like I said, I feel like Chicago could go through a letdown game after being so excited about beating the Dodgers 2 times in a row. So that's why my first pick is the Phillies moneyline. Up next, in the Baltimore-Detroit game, I'm going to switch gears by opting for a player proposition bet. And again, I am taking positive odds. So we have another underdog. In this case, I'm taking Cedric Mullins. the Baltimore leadoff hitter, to score at least one run. To me, these odds are quite enticing, and I feel like the line is inflated because of the early season success by Detroit's starter, Casey Mize. But to me, that's unlikely to last. I mean, he was quite poor over the past 2 seasons. If you take a look at his famous whip statistic, the walks plus hits per inning pitched during the past 2 years, they sit at 1.47 and 1.50. Remember, once again, that the league average is 1.30, and when your whip stat is around 1.5, that's quite bad. And that's what happened to Mize in each of the prior 2 seasons. So I think he will go through some regression, and to me that is one of the best value wagers in my mind regarding the Baltimore versus Detroit game. So again, pick number 2 goes to Cedric Mullins to cross home plate at least once. Up next, I'm going to talk about the Jays-Yankees game. So I don't have a great pick that I love, in the Mets-Nationals game. So I'm going to skip to the Yankees, and this time I'm going to take them as small favorites. I'm betting the Yankees money line. Alright, so of course backing Carlos Carrasco is quite scary. He has given up 3 or 4 earned runs in each of his 5 starts, except one against the weak Kansas City offense. In that game, he squandered just 1 earned run, but that's not a great accomplishment given KC's weak offense. Now, in his last outing, can you believe that he induced only 2 whiffs out of 75 pitches? That's another source of concern to me. Now, for Toronto, can Jose Berrios turn things around? I mean, after 2 very solid years where he presented a whip stat of 1.19 and 1.15 respectively, which is much better than average, right now, this season, he owns a dreadful 5.02 ERA, and his whip stat is through the roof at 1.43. And now he is facing the Bronx Bombers, which is no easy task. It's going to be difficult for him. Now, Toronto's offense has been ice cold. In their 3 games in Houston, they scored a total of 2 runs during those 3 games. And now if you put your attention on their last 7 contests overall, they have put on the board an average of 2.1 runs. So that's dreadful. The Jays have also lost 5 games in a row overall, and also they have dropped their past 5 when facing righties. So I expect the Yankees to win this game straight up, even though backing Carlos Carrasco makes me a bit nervous. Alright, it's time to move on to pick number 4, when in fact we're going to talk about picks 4 and 5 at the same time, because I have 2 betting picks regarding the Houston-Kansas City game. One of them is the money line, and I'm going to make use of a betting strategy called the hot teams matchup number 1. By the way, this strategy is graded 3 stars out of 5, so it's an average system. It does a decent job. Its rules are very simple. Bet the road team if they have won at least 1 game in a row and they're facing a home club that has won at least 4 straight contests. Now, in the current case, Houston is the road team and they have won 3 games in a row, whereas Houston is riding a 4-game winning streak. So by following those rules, we must bet the visiting club, and that's why my 4th pick goes to the Astros money line. And as you can already see on your screen, I'm also taking the under in this match. Seth Lugo inspires more confidence than Hayden Wesneski. but the latter has been surprisingly good since last year. In 2024, Wisniewski posted a rock-solid 1.14 whip stat, and this season a stunning 0.87. Wow! Now, most people focus on the ERA, and Wisniewski's ERA is quite ordinary at 3.91, so he may be underrated and flying under the radar. He's done a fantastic job this year, so don't get misled by the ERA. Like I said, the Astros are also backed by the hot teams matchup strategy. So to me, I also like the under for various reasons. Both offenses are fairly weak. They rank among the bottom of the majors. Wisniewski is underrated, and to me, Seth Lugo is a very reliable starting hurler. So I like the under to hit. So more precisely, I'm taking under 8 runs to be scored. So in short, I am hoping for a low-scoring victory by Houston. So perhaps a 4-2 win would be perfect. All right, so those were picks 4 and 5. And now let's go over to the Milwaukee-St. Louis game, where I'm going back to a player prop bet. This time I'm going to focus on St. Louis starting pitcher Matthew Liberatore, where I believe he will obtain up under 4.5 strikeouts against the Brew Crew. Now, what the heck are you doing, Professor MJ? Are you thinking? Because this year, Liberatore has struck out 4, 7, 7, and 6 batters. So it does not bode well if you look at these numbers. But to me, I don't think he's going to last very long on the mound. I'm not buying his early season success. I think he's due for some regression, and he's facing a team that has scored the 4th most runs in MLB this season. So I think it's going to be a short outing for him, and he's not going to find a way to get 5 strikeouts or more. So I'm betting him to get under 4.5 Ks in this matchup. Alright, so do you want more picks? Let's go with pick number 7 that concerns the Reds versus Rockies game. And again, I'm targeting a starting hurler regarding his number of strikeouts, and more precisely, I'm taking Kyle Freeland to get over 3.5 punch-outs against the Reds. Well, as you all know, Coors Field is a hitter-friendly ballpark, so you expect Colorado's pitchers to do better on the road than at home for this reason. But that's not the case of Kyle Freeland, who looks more comfortable in that stadium. Since 2023, his home ERA has been 4.84 versus 5.34 away. And if you look at his strikeout per 9 innings average, at Coors Field it's 7.0 versus 5.2 on the road. Now, if you would have made this bet last season, you would have obtained a 6-4 record. At home, by the way, I'm just focusing on the home game. So at home, he posted a 6-4 record if you were betting him to get over 3.5 punch-outs, alright? Now, also one more thing that I like about this bet is that he will be fresh, because he made only just 36 pitches in his last start before leaving with a blister on the middle finger of his throwing hand. So I do like him to rack up at least 4 strikeouts against the Reds today. So that's pick number 7. Alright, so we have 4 more picks to go. Now I would like, how about we take a quick break, a 1-minute break, so that I can share with you a true Cinderella story. I think I shared it just once last year, so many of you have probably missed it. Last summer, my oldest son's baseball team was playing in a tournament. And in that tournament, they had some very strict rules regarding the number of innings that a pitcher could be on the mound. And given who came to the tournament, some players could not make it. It was an out-of-town tournament. We had a very limited number of pitchers. So I was worried as the head coach about not having enough pitchers if we were to make it to the finals. So my perfect scenario, and I was hoping that early in the tournament, there would be a game where we would grab an early lead so that I could send to the mound my youngest son, Jay, even though he was 2 years younger than everybody else. He was not playing in that caliber because he was too young, so technically he was not part of the team, but the rules allowed me to send him to the mound if I wanted, given his age. And in our second game, we took an early 3-0 lead, and I decided to gamble and I sent him to the mound by figuring that if things went badly, I would just pull him from the game. But let's see how he did and what happened in that game.
Allez, Jay! Yeah! Allez, Jay! Go, Jay!
Le joueur du match du côté des Patriots 1, le numéro 9, c'est Goodwin. Bravo aux deux équipes.
Wow, those are great memories that I really enjoy watching again. So good job, Jay, for this performance from last year. All right, it's time to move on to our 8th pick. So let's get back to business. This time we're going to talk about the Braves versus Diamondbacks game. And in that match, I am opting for the Braves money line. They are slight favorites. Well, as you all know, Atlanta got off to a very disappointing start to their season via a 5-13 record. But they are surging after winning 5 of their past 6 contests. And meanwhile, the Diamondbacks are headed in a wrong direction by posting a 2-4 record in recent times. Now we have 2 elite starters with surprisingly high ERAs that will be handed the ball today. Chris Sale owns a 6.17 ERA, whereas his counterpart, Zach Gallen, has posted a 5.60 ERA in 2025. However, the strikeout to walk ratio has been much brighter for Chris Sale, 32-7. And in the case of Zach Gallen, it's been 29-13, so not nearly as great. So for all of these reasons, given how Atlanta is surging and I trust Chris Sale a lot more, I've decided to side with the Braves to win this game outright. Okay, now it's time for pick number 9, and it concerns the Tampa Bay San Diego game. More precisely, I'm going with the Padres money line. The best current odds are -140, which equates to 1.714 if you are more familiar with decimal odds. Now, the Padres have been mediocre on the road, but who can stop them at home at Petco Park. They currently own a superb 12-1 record at home this season, and their lone home loss was 2-1 in extra innings, so it was a tight defeat. Now we have a great pitching showdown between Shane Baz and Michael King. Tampa's starter has been very efficient since joining the league in 2021, so hats off to Shane Baz. But he has shown some signs of weaknesses in his last outing. In that game, he gave up 5 earned runs in 3 1/3 innings against the Yankees. He also struggled with accuracy in that match as he issued 4 walks. So in my mind, perhaps it has shaken his confidence. I know it was against the Yankees, who have a great offense, but still that could shake his confidence. Now let's focus on Michael King for a minute. After a disappointing first start in 2025, he owns a 1.07 ERA since then, while totaling 28 strikeouts versus 6 walks. Now, can you believe that his ERA has been below 3 in each of his prior 3 years? So he is a model of consistency. I'm going to trust him, and also the fact that the Padres have been so spectacular at Petco Park. So for this reason, I have to side with San Diego. Alright, what about pick number 10? It concerns the White Sox versus Ace game. And by the way, yesterday, one of my premium picks was the White Sox during the first 5 innings in Minnesota. And they won 3-0 despite the huge plus 210 odds on the White Sox. That was a great victory. I'm very happy about what happened yesterday with the White Sox. Now, they are facing the A's today, and my bet is to take the A's team total to be under 5.5 runs. So more precisely, I expect the A's to score a maximum of 5 runs today. Alright, let's review some of my arguments supporting this play here. Well, the A's have fared very well this year, offensively speaking. They currently occupy the 13th spot in terms of runs scored, so that's surprisingly good. Now, if you would have made this bet in each of their 25 games, again, betting that they're going to score 5 runs or less, if you would have done that in each of their games this year, you would currently own a 7-18 record. Now I know that they are expected to face some unreliable hurlers, but does it really warrant such a high team total? In my mind, I don't think so. The line seems exaggerated to me. Now Tyler Gilbert will be handed the ball to begin the game, and he will likely cover the first 2 or 3 frames. Now he owns a decent 1.23 career whip statistic, and teams don't know him very well, so they may not know what to expect from him, because he has pitched around 30 innings since 2023. Then Sean Burke will take over and he will serve as a bulk reliever. Now he opened the season with a bang by tossing 6 scoreless innings against the Angels before things started to unravel for him. Now his manager is hoping that using him this way will turn things around, and maybe he will yield some better results. And personally, I think it will be the case. Also, the team, the White Sox, are coming off a nice 3-0 shutout victory in Minnesota. So I think we could see a low-scoring affair, or, well, anyway, personally, I don't really care about the number of runs that the White Sox will score, but in my mind, it seems unlikely that the A's will score more than 5 runs, so that's why my best bet in that game is the A's team total to go under 5.5 runs. Now let's wrap up this video with pick number 11 regarding the Rangers-Giants game, And in that match, I am taking the under, more precisely, under 7.5. Now, the Rangers' offense is not very dangerous. They have scored the third fewest runs in the majors, and also they are on the road today, so it does not bode well for an explosive offense for them. Meanwhile, San Francisco's offense is much more potent, but I trust Nathan Eovaldi to keep them at bay. The 35-year-old veteran currently shows the second best whip stat in the entire big leagues this season, only behind Kevin Gausman from the Toronto Blue Jays. Also, it's worth noting that he is allowed a 186 batting average to the Giants hitters. Finally, if you focus on the games played by Texas this year, the under has posted a 17-8 record. So for all of those reasons, my favorite bet in that game is under 7.5. So there you go, you can see my 11 picks for today. My 11 free picks, some of them are viewed as being premium plays, and if you want to find out what the premium picks are, so some of them are already listed here, and I also add a few more every day. A quick reminder how so far this year we own an 18-9 record with those premium picks, and if you want to gain access to those plays and invest in your success, you want to grow your bankroll, you need to sign up at mjpicks.com. Now, I wish you all a very great weekend, and I'm looking forward to talk to you again next week. All right. Also, one last thing. So I've presented 11 picks, and sometimes people wonder, well, do you recommend making single bets or should we do some parlays? Well, to me, the answer is clear. Don't do any parlays because the vigorish, so the commission taken by Sportsbook, is much higher when you do parlays. In fact, I have made a specific video talking about this entitled Stop Doing Parlays that has generated 25,000 views. This has been one of my most popular videos ever out of my 1,000 plus videos released on this YouTube channel. I strongly invite you to watch it. So you will get if you click the little card appearing in the bottom corner of your screen right now, you will gain the opportunity to watch this insightful video that may open your eyes and could save you hundreds or thousands of dollars in the long run. I'm Professor MJ from Quebec City in Canada. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.